Hi, I'm Brienne from Online Fabric Store. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of very beautiful Victorian lampshades for sale online. The handmade ones are a little bit out of my lamp budget, but I knew that I had the skills to make my own. All you need to be able to do is basic hand sewing, and then you can make your own lampshade as well. Making your own lampshade means you get to pick the exact colors, textures, and patterns that you like, and save a lot of money while you're at it. All right, let's get started on this project. We start this project by applying a cotton tape to our metal lampshade frame. You need the cotton tape so that you have something to sew your fabric onto. So I am just hot gluing the beginning of my tape in place. And then I'm gonna cut about how much I think I will need. It's not super precise right now. And then I'm gonna tightly wrap it around my frame. You want to make sure the tape is lying nice and flat, but if it's a little bit lumpy, that's okay. A lot of it will be covered by your trim at the end. This is a project that can hide a lot of your mistakes for sure. This is not the fastest project, so make sure that you allocate enough time to complete it, but it is pretty easy. It's a good project to work on when you're listening to music at home or watching a TV show that you don't care about too much. And then when I get to the end, I'm just gonna hot glue it again, trim my excess, hot glue it down. And then you're gonna do the same thing on the rest of your lamp frame. I tried this a little while ago with just doing the top and bottom with the cotton tape. You really do need to do the whole lamp. It feels like it might be overkill, but you really do need that cotton base to sew onto. It's really important. So now we have our frame done. I am going to pin on our first layer, which is the chiffon. I think I'm gonna do these one panel at a time actually. Pin them, sew them, and then keep doing it all the way around. And I'm gonna pin right into that cotton tape. Hold the fabric nice and tight. You wanna make sure it's gonna be smooth for your final product. I am using quite a few pins here just because I'm gonna have to pull some of them out when I start sewing. I'm maybe using more pins than you need, but I just think it's better to be safe than sorry. I want it to be nice and tight, and the more pins you have, the easier, especially when you have a curved lampshade frame like this. This is looking pretty good. I am gonna do a quick trim of my fabric now, but not a full trim. I'm gonna leave a little bit excess just to make it a little bit easier for me to sew. We have one panel to work with, and then I'm gonna sew this up. I am going to use a matching burgundy thread. It really doesn't matter. The only part of this that's going to be visible would be the inside. The rest of this will be covered with trim, so there's really no need to worry too much about what color thread you use. I sew into the fabric and the twill tape, but I don't sew around the metal frame. You don't want to go too far into the panel that is going to be covered by trim, but you want to make sure not too much of it will be sewn, just in case your trim is not that wide. You can expect this to be a little bit fiddly because you are sewing through your top fabric into the cotton tape and trying not to stab your needle into the metal of the lamp frame. All right, using your scissors, you are going to trim the excess fabric around the sides of your panel. You want to make sure that you're leaving maybe about a 1/4 inch, enough so that your thread stays nice and secure, but not too much that it's going to show when you glue that trim down. All right, we finished our first panel on this lamp. We're going to do the rest, the other 7 on this lamp, just in the same fashion. So after I finish the chiffon, I have decided that I'm gonna do another layer, and I'm gonna do a lace overlay on top of it. We are gonna do that lace the same way that we did the chiffon. Because my two fabrics are pretty different texture and my lace is a stretch and the chiffon is not, I have decided to sew them separately. If you have two fabrics that you want to overlay and they're the same kind of general consistency, you might be able to sew them at the same time. I am going to be very careful to sew through both the chiffon and the cotton tape. We don't want to just sew into the chiffon and have it pull. All right, and then you're gonna do the other 7 just like that. Now that we've gotten all of our lace panels sewed on our lamp, we get to the part that is a little bit easier and more satisfying. We're gonna add our trim and finish up this lamp. I have some clips and some fabric glue. I'm gonna just add a little bit of glue at the end here, wrap it over the top, making sure I'm putting it right on top of that bar nice and evenly, and I am gonna clip it into place. Then I am going to add some glue down the seam, making sure to be a little bit generous, but not too much glue, and put it right over that bar. All of your seams will be covered up by the width of your trim. Because my lamp is a little bit concave, I am gonna just stick a pin in there just to make sure it dries where I want it. And then when you get to the end, cut maybe 3/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch overlap. Put some glue on the edge, fold it over, and then I am gonna clip it in place again. You are gonna repeat this on all of the verticals of your lamp. Some folks online have had success making lamps like this using hot glue, but I've tried it before and I do feel it's a little bit more finicky. Often the glue does show through the trim, so I prefer to use a fabric glue. Once you've let it dry for an adequate amount of time, we're going to remove the clips and we are going to take out all the pins, and then we're going to put on our other trim. We are going to do this a little bit differently. Instead of being flat on the face like this, curve it over the top like this to hide my seams. And then I'm going to glue along the top of the lampshade, and I'm going to go very slowly on this one. And I'm going to put a little bit on my outside edges. My first piece, I'm going to start at one of my other pieces of trim. I'm going to use a lot of clips on this, and I'm going to go around making sure it's firmly glued. And when you get to the point where they're going to overlap, you're going to take off your first pin. This glue dries very quickly, so it's already pretty sticky right there. And I'm just gonna measure it out so that it ends kind of the same place it started. Put a little bit more glue on top of the original trim. And then I'm gonna put a clip and just clip it over itself. That can be the back of your lamp. So I've left my top trim to dry for a little bit. Now we're going to take the clips off and see how it looks. It looks nice. So I'm gonna put my fringe on the bottom. I don't actually have my lamp base with me, so I'm gonna take this upside down vase and put my shade on top of it. So I'm gonna find the part where they overlap, and that's where I'm gonna start. I'm gonna put some glue on it, and then I am going to clip it in. And I'm gonna do this just a couple inches at a time so that I can get it on there and clip it in place. I'm doing it right on the bottom. I might also put some pins in depending on how it feels like it's sticking for me. And when you get back to where you started, what you're gonna do is cut just a little bit extra so that it overlaps, maybe 1/2 inch or so. And then take out your first clip, put some glue over where you started, overlap them, and then clip it back into place. And then you're all set. It just needs to dry. Here's what the final lampshade looks like. I'm so glad I put in the effort to make exactly what I wanted. Let us know if you have any questions or comments. Thanks for watching this OFS project. We'll see you next time.